Good morning, class. I'm going to be doing just a warm-up video to refresh your mind about exponential functions. And I'm just going to be typing it into a document here. So I'm going to do an example question, and then you're going to take a short do now quiz on it. All right. So example one, I'm going to pick cars. Okay. Um, Values of cars. Suppose pick a name. Eli buys a car for $20,000. So, do you think the value of the car is going to increase or decrease over time every year? So, remember with exponential functions, we are looking at a percent change. Okay, we multiply by some number over and over again, right? That's what makes it exponential. So, we're looking at a times y equals a times b to the power of x, or the power of t. I'm going to put t because in this case, t stands for time and we're multiplying by something. So for example one, let's say the car value will decrease by, um, let's say it's 15% per year because Eli's driving the car, and it's not new anymore, right? Every year it gets used and used and used. So that's the example that we're going to do. So the question is, find the value of this car after 8 years. Let's call that part A, all right? How are we going to do that? We need to use we need to set up, first we need to set up an equation, right? So actually, before we find the value of the car, we probably want to do something else. We want to write the equation first because we have to use the equation to find part. I changed it to part B now. Value in 8 years, we're gonna have to use the equation. So what is it? What's the equation? Change my color here. I'm gonna put the answers in red. Okay, so we're gonna do. Well, so we're gonna do the first. Okay, first you have y equals. Okay, or in this case, I could also put c parentheses t or p parentheses t. P stands for price and t is time. Okay, so I'm gonna just put y equals though. It's the same thing. We have to put a first. Y equals what's a? All right. A is what we start. The starting amount. What's the starting amount? You got it. 20,000. All right. And times by. Uh, B is what are we multiplying by? So if the car value is decreasing by 15%, a decrease is subtraction. So we take the whole value of the car, which is 1, we subtract 15%, which is 0.15, all right? So our multiplier is 1 minus 0.15, okay? And then I'm going to put to the power of t. That's the equation, all right? I wanted to change the color of this, but let's see if I can. Not a good color. All right, so after 8 years, only thing we have to do now is use the equation for part B. So let's do that. We're going to do y equals 20,000 to the power of, or excuse me, times 1 minus 0.15 is 0.85. that means that the car's value is going to only retain 85% of its value every year. Okay. This is just an example. This is called exponential decay because it's decreasing. So to the power of 8. Right now, all we have to do is solve this. So you want to grab your calculator. And first you do the exponent, and then you do the multiplication. So what is 0.85 to the 8th power? Let me put that in here. 0.85 to the 8th power. After 10 years, you're only going to have 27% left. 0.272, that's all you're going to have left. You see there, 0.85 to the 8th power. Then times that by 20,000. So this car is now worth 5,000. I would probably round this because I don't need to know how many pennies it's worth. That's that. I'm going to round it to the nearest 100. So I would say 5,400. Okay. So I'm going to say approximately 5,400. So you see, cars sometimes are not a good investment, but they can be a useful tool to go places and work and things like that. You need a car to work so you can make money. But owning this car, he's going to be spending some money, and he still has some value left after 10 years or 8 years. Okay. I'm going to do one more example. Example 2. Right. And then we will do our do now quiz. So the next one is going to be exponential increase or exponential growth. Now think of a situation where you grow your money. Maybe the stock market is an example of growth, because the stock market is something that usually increases. The stock prices usually increase slowly as time goes by. So example 2, I'm going to say let's do Patty invested $5,000. Let's see. Let's say 50,000. Her grandma gave her. Okay. Oh, you got a grandma that's she put it in the stock market and expects to make say 10% per year because actually I'm going to change the question a little bit. Patty has whoops. I'm going to change it to Patty has 50,000 invested in the stock market. Her grandma gave her the money a while ago. All right. I'm going to change this just a little bit. So she has 50,000. Maybe her grandma gave her the money a long time ago. The return on her investment is 10. The question is, how much can she expect to have in 15 years? Actually, she's going to save for retirement. How much can she expect to have in, let's say, 30 years? She's not going to do nothing with it, but later on she'll use it to retire. Okay, so we just have to set up the equation. That's part A. I'm going to say y equals 50,000. 1, is it going to be 1 minus or 1 plus? It's going to be 1 plus because 0.10. 10% is 0.1 or 0.10 to the power of t, right? So this is how we do that. Okay, then part B, we're going to find out how much she has after, well, I don't know, how 30 years. Equals 50,000. 1 plus 0.10 is 1.1. 1.1 to the power of 30 equals what? All right, these are the type of questions we're going to have on today's warm-up assignment. So I'm practicing. These are the basics of exponentials. You might have learned these in Algebra 2, but I don't know. That's why I wanted to go over it. So let's go back to this. So we're going to do 1.1 to the power of 30 years and see what that is. The exponent goes first. So she's going to have 30 years from now, she's going to have 17 times as much money as she had. Okay, this is the power of the stock market, but you have time. It takes time. So times it by 50,000, right? She's gonna have $872,000. Okay, and some change. I'm gonna say approximately 872,000. That's my answer. Okay. Approximately is this little thing here. Approximately 172,000. So this is the way that rich people get rich. They invest, right? So that's going to be today's. You could call this notes. I might have you guys write this down in your notebook while we watch the video. All right, and then you're going to have to practice some on your own. Okay.